Good morning, everyone. We are going to tackle our lesson for first quarter, week 6. Plant structures involved in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process of food making done by plants and other autotrophic organisms. In plants, photosynthesis takes place in the leaves where the chlorophyll is present. Chlorophyll is found in the chloroplast of a plant cell. Photosynthesis happens in the leaves of the plants, which consist of several layers of cells. The parts of the leaves include the upper and lower epidermis, mesophyll spongy layer, vascular bundles, guard cells, and stomata. The outer surface of a leaf has a thin waxy covering called cuticle. The upper and lower epidermis protects the leaves and has nothing to do with photosynthetic processes. The process of photosynthesis occurs in a middle layer called mesophyll. It has the most number of chloroplasts that contain chlorophyll. They are important in trapping light energy from the sun. Vascular bundles, phloem, and xylem act as transporting vessels of manufactured food and water. Carbon dioxide and oxygen were collected in the spongy layer. The gas enters and exits the leaf through the stomata. The guard cell regulates the opening and closing of the stomata. This is the structure of a leaf. Cross-section. Photosynthesis is a process of food making done by plants and other autotrophic organisms. The presence of chlorophyll enables this. Autotrophic organisms require light, energy, carbon dioxide, and water to make food. Photosynthesis primarily takes place in the leaves and little or none in the stems, depending on the presence of chlorophyll. The typical parts of the leaves include the upper and lower epidermis, mesophyll spongy layer, vascular bundles, and stomatas. The upper and lower epidermis protects the leaves and has nothing to do with photosynthetic processes. Mesophyll has the most number of chloroplasts that contain chlorophyll. They are important in trapping light energy from the sun. Vascular bundles, phloem and xylem serve as transporting vessels of manufactured food and water. Carbon dioxide and oxygen were collected in the spongy layer and enters and exits the leaf through the stomata. The parts of a chloroplast include the outer and inner membranes, intermembrane space, stroma, and thylakoid stalk in grana. The chlorophyll is built into the membranes of the thylakoids. Chlorophyll absorbs white light, but it looks green because white light consists of three primary colors: red, blue, and green. Only red and blue light is absorbed, thus making these colors unavailable to be seen by our eyes, while the green light is reflected, which makes the chlorophyll looks green. However, it is the energy from red light and blue light that are absorbed and will be used in photosynthesis. The green light that we can see is not absorbed by the plant and thus cannot be used in photosynthesis. Photosynthesis takes place inside an organelle called a chloroplast. Its parts include the outer and inner membranes, intermembrane space, stroma, and thylakoid stalk in grana. Chloroplasts have a double membrane envelope composed of an outer membrane and an inner membrane. Within the double membrane are stalk, disc-shaped structures called thylakoids. The chlorophyll is embedded into the membranes of the thylakoids. Chlorophyll gives plants their green color and is responsible for the initial interaction between light and plant material. Chlorophyll absorbs white light, which consists of the red, blue, and green light. The green light is reflected, which makes the chlorophyll looks green, while the red and blue lights are absorbed, thus making these colors invisible. The thylakoid membrane closes an internal space called the thylakoid lumen. A stack of thylakoids is called a granum, and the liquid-filled space surrounding the granum is the stroma or bed. There are two stages of photosynthesis. 1. Light-dependent reaction, and 2. Light-independent reaction or Calvin cycle. Light-dependent reaction happens in the presence of light. It occurs in the thylakoid membrane. Water, one of the raw materials in the process, is utilized during the light-dependent reaction stage. As the water molecules heat by the light energy, it splits into hydrogen ion, oxygen, and free electrons. The energy harvested during this stage is stored in the form of ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and NADPH, nicotinamide adenine, dinucleotide phosphate hydrogen. These energies will be utilized as a fuel for the next stage, which is the light-independent reaction. For the light-independent reaction or Calvin cycle, this stage does not directly need light, but needs the products of light-dependent reaction. It occurs in the stroma of the chloroplast. To drive the reactions forward, this cycle uses ATP and NADPH produced during the light-dependent reactions. The ATP and NADPH are the sources of energy for the cycle. The cycle begins when carbon dioxide from the atmosphere enters plant cells. It undergoes fixation, reduction, and regeneration processes. The product of this cycle is a 6-carbon sugar known as the glucose. Carbon fixation. In this process, the carbon dioxide is captured in the atmosphere and diffuses into the stroma of a chloroplast, where they encounter molecules called the RUBP, which is a 5-carbon sugar molecule. The enzymes used in this reaction is called ribosco, and the result of the reaction is unstable 6-carbon molecule that splits into 2 3-carbon molecules called 3-phosphoglyceric acid. Second, carbon dioxide reduction. This process is called carbon dioxide reduction phase because we are adding electrons and energy to a carbon dioxide molecule. When phosphoglycerate engages with ATP from light-dependent reaction, it becomes biphosphoglycerate or BPGA. This BPGA combines with NADPH, which carries a high energy electron that got enhanced by light energy and is carrying a hydrogen proton. The NADPH is going to donate that high energy electron and hydrogen to BPGA and convert it into phosphoglyceraldehyde or PGAL. A carbohydrate, ADP and NAD positive, return to the thylakoid to be converted back to ATP and NADPH by light reaction. One of the 3 PGA molecules is set aside as the building block for glucose, while majority of the 3 GPA molecules move forward into the third phase of Calvin cycle. Third, regeneration of RUBP. In this phase, RUBP molecule is formed using ATP that combine with the 3-GPA molecules. This RUBP combine with additional carbon dioxide molecules to form the glucose molecule. This cycle has to turn 6 times. Each turn of cycle adds only one carbon atom for the incoming carbon dioxide. This is the chemical reaction for photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide plus water turns to chlorophyll, glucose plus oxygen. Thank you for listening. Ano na eh? Dito na, X?
Alam ko.
Close?